The rain slashed against the cracked pavement of Haven Street, a forgotten artery in the heart of coastal Maine, where two families had drawn blood over pride for generations. Eli Carter, shivering under his hoodie, stood at the edge of the old pier, staring into the churning Atlantic, where his heart felt just as wild. Tonight, he'd do the unthinkable, meet Jasper Kane, his sworn enemy, to broker peace or burn everything down. For decades, the Carters and Kanes had torn each other apart over a strip of land nobody even farmed anymore. It started with a bad deal in the 1920s, escalated to fistfights by the 50s, and now, in 2025, it was a cold war of sabotage and whispered threats. Eli, 24, with sharp cheekbones and a temper to match, was the youngest Carter, burdened with a legacy he didn't choose but couldn't escape. Jasper, the Kane heir, was his mirror, 25, all lean muscle and piercing blue eyes, carrying the same weight of hate passed down like a cursed heirloom. Eli's phone buzzed. Pier. Now. Jasper's text was as cold as the wind biting Eli's face. He shoved his hands deeper into his pockets, the weight of his family's expectations pressing harder than the storm. The Carters wanted him to demand the Kanes surrender the land. But Eli had a different plan, one that could either save them all or destroy him. He'd heard whispers of Jasper's softer side, the one that painted watercolors in secret and fed stray cats behind the Kane boatyard. Maybe, just maybe, they could talk. Maybe they could end this. The pier creaked as Jasper appeared, his silhouette cutting through the mist like a blade. Carter, he said, voice low. Dangerous. You got some nerve showing up alone. I'm not here to fight, Eli said, stepping closer, heart hammering. I'm here to end it. Jasper's laugh was sharp, bitter. End it. You think words fix 100 years of bad blood. But his eyes lingered on Eli's, searching, and for a moment, the world held its breath. They talked for hours, rain soaking their clothes, voices rising and falling like the waves below. Eli spoke of his father's endless rants, the weight of being the Carter hope. Jasper admitted to hating the feud, how it chained him to a life he didn't want. Somewhere between the truths and the silences, their guards dropped. Jasper's hand brushed Eli's, and neither pulled away. It was reckless, forbidden. But when Jasper leaned in, lips crashing against Eli's, it felt like the only thing that made sense in a world gone mad. The night blurred into a tangle of heat and desperation in the back of Jasper's truck, parked in the shadow of the boatyard. Eli's hands gripped Jasper's shoulders, their breaths mingling, a fleeting rebellion against the hate that bound them. They didn't speak of love too dangerous, too soon, but something deeper than lust sparked in the dark. Morning came, and with it, guilt. Eli slipped away before dawn, heart pounding with what they'd done. He told himself it was a mistake, a one-time thing to seal a truce. But weeks later, his body told a different story. Nausea. Fatigue. A test from the drugstore confirmed it. Eli was pregnant. In a small town where secrets spread like wildfire, this was a bomb waiting to detonate. He avoided Jasper, ignored the texts, the late-night knocks. But the feud didn't stop. The Kanes slashed Carter tires. The Carters spray-painted threats on Kane property. Eli's father, grizzled and unyielding, sensed his son's distraction. You hiding something, boy? He growled, eyes narrowing. Eli lied. But the truth was a noose tightening around his neck. 3 weeks later, Jasper cornered him outside the town's only diner. "Why the hell are you ghosting me?" Jasper's voice was raw, his usual swagger gone. Eli's throat burned, but he couldn't say it. Not here. Not now. Instead, he muttered, "It was a mistake. Leave me alone." Jasper's face hardened. "A mistake? That's what you call it." He stepped closer, voice dropping. "I felt something, Eli. And I know you did too." Eli's resolve cracked, but before he could speak, a Carter cousin spotted them. "Eli, you cozying up to a cane?" The shout drew eyes, and the diner's windows lit up with curious faces. Eli fled, heart racing, knowing the rumor mill was already churning. That night, Eli sat on his bedroom floor, staring at the test stick, its 2 lines mocking him. He was carrying Jasper's child, the child of his enemy. The feud had already cost lives, homes, futures. What would it do to a baby? He clutched his stomach, whispering, "I'll protect you." Somehow. But the how was a mystery, and the world outside was a battlefield. Jasper wasn't done. The next day, he stormed into the Carter's auto shop, where Eli was wrenching on a truck. Customers froze. Eli's father reached for a crowbar. "Get out, Kane," the old man snarled. Jasper ignored him, eyes locked on Eli. "We need to talk. Now." His voice trembled, not with fear, but with something fiercer. Eli's heart sank. He knew that look. Jasper wasn't just here to talk. He was here to fight for something neither of them fully understood. Eli's father slammed the crowbar on the counter, the clang echoing like a gunshot. "You got 5 seconds to leave, Kane, or I'll make you." The shop's fluorescent lights buzzed, casting harsh shadows on Jasper's face. But he didn't flinch. His eyes stayed on Eli, pleading, demanding answers Eli wasn't ready to give. "Dad, stop," Eli said, stepping between them, his voice shaking. "He's not worth it." The lie tasted bitter, but he needed Jasper gone before the truth spilled out. Jasper's jaw tightened. "Not worth it? That's how you play this?" He turned to Eli's father, unafraid. "Your son's got something to tell you. Ask him why he's been avoiding me." The room went silent, the air thick with suspicion. Eli's father turned, eyes boring into him. "What's he talking about, Eli?" Panic clawed at Eli's chest. He grabbed Jasper's arm, dragging him outside into the gravel lot. The Maine wind whipped around them, carrying the salt of the sea and the weight of their secrets. "What the hell are you doing?" Eli hissed. "You want to get us both killed?" "I want the truth," Jasper said, voice low, intense. "You can't just shut me out." Not after. He stopped, glancing at Eli's stomach, and Eli's blood ran cold. Did he know? "I don't owe you anything," Eli snapped, but his voice cracked, betraying him. Jasper stepped closer, close enough that Eli could smell the cedar on his jacket, feel the heat of his breath. "You're scared," Jasper said softly. "I am too. But I'm not letting this go. Not you. Not us." Eli wanted to scream, to shove him away, to run. But Jasper's hand found his, gentle yet firm. And for a moment, Eli was back in that truck, lost in a night that felt like freedom. "I'm pregnant," he whispered, the words barely audible over the wind. Jasper froze, eyes wide, searching Eli's face. Mine. Eli nodded, tears stinging his eyes. And it's gonna ruin everything. The confession broke something in Jasper. He pulled Eli into his arms, holding him like the world could burn and he wouldn't care. Not if I have anything to say about it, he murmured. But the moment shattered when Eli's cousin, Nate, appeared, his face twisted with disgust. You're a traitor, Nate spat, spitting on the ground. Consorting with a Cain. And why carrying his kid? The words were a match to gasoline. By nightfall, the town was ablaze with gossip. Carters called Eli a disgrace. Cain's mocked Jasper for falling for the enemy. The feud reignited, uglier than ever. A Carter boat was sunk. A Cain warehouse burned. Eli hid in his room, clutching his phone. Jasper's texts piling up. I'm not giving up on you. On us. But Eli's father was done reasoning. You fix this, he growled, or you're no son of mine. Eli met Jasper in secret, in the woods where no one would see. We can't keep doing this, Eli said, voice breaking. They'll kill us. They'll hurt the baby. Jasper's eyes blazed. Let them try. I'll tear this town apart before I let anyone touch you or our kid. His protectiveness was a fire, warming Eli even as it terrified him. They kissed again, desperate, a promise against the chaos. But as they parted, Eli saw a shadow move in the trees someone was watching. The next morning, Eli woke to his father's fist pounding on his door. Get up. We're ending this today. The Carters had called a town meeting, demanding the Cains leave or face war. Eli's stomach churned not just from the pregnancy, but from the dread of what was coming. At the town hall, the air was electric with hate. Carters on one side, Cains on the other, and Eli caught in the middle, his secret a ticking clock. Jasper stood with his family, but his eyes never left Eli. A silent vow. When Eli's father stood to speak, accusing the Cains of every sin under the sun, Jasper interrupted. Enough. Jasper's voice boomed, silencing the room. This feud is poison. It's killing us all. And I'm done. He crossed the room, grabbed Eli's hand, and pulled him to his side. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Eli's pregnant. With my child. And if any of you, Carter, Cain, or otherwise come for him or our baby, you'll answer to me. The room erupted. Fists flew. Chairs toppled. Eli clung to Jasper, heart pounding, as the town they tried to save tore itself apart. Chaos swallowed the town hall. Eli's father lunged for Jasper, but Jasper shoved him back, shielding Eli with his body. Stay back. Jasper roared, his voice a raw mix of fury and fear. Eli's hand tightened around Jasper's, his other hand instinctively covering his stomach, protecting the life they'd created in a moment of reckless hope. Traitor! A Cain cousin shouted, while a Carter screamed, You've shamed us all. The room was a blur of angry faces, but Jasper stood like a lighthouse in a storm, unyielding. Eli's heart had wanted peace. Not this. But Jasper's defiance, his willingness to burn bridges for their child, lit something fierce in him. Stop it! Eli yelled, his voice cutting through the noise. The crowd stilled, shocked by the quiet Carter's outburst. This isn't about land or pride anymore. It's about Usme. Jasper. Our baby. We're done fighting your war. His father's face twisted, red with rage. You choose him over your blood. I choose a future, Eli said, voice steady despite the tears. For my kid. For me. Jasper squeezed his hand. A silent "I'm with you." But the crowd wasn't swayed. A bottle flew, shattering against a wall. Someone grabbed Eli's arm, yanking him away from Jasper. Before Eli could react, Jasper was there, fist connecting with the attacker's jaw. The room exploded again, and Eli was pulled into the fray, heart pounding as he fought to stay close to Jasper. They stumbled outside, the cold Maine air a slap to the face. Jasper's truck was waiting, and he shoved Eli inside. We're leaving, he said, voice tight. Now. Leaving where? Eli asked, breathless, as Jasper floored the gas, the town fading in the rear view. Anywhere they can't touch us, Jasper said. I've got savings. We'll start over. Eli wanted to believe it was that simple, but the weight of their families, their town, their history pressed down. They'll follow us, he whispered. They always do. Jasper's hand found his, warm and sure. Then we fight. Together. They drove through the night, stopping at a roadside motel as dawn broke. In the quiet of their room, Eli finally let himself break, sobbing into Jasper's chest. I'm scared, he admitted. For the baby. For us. Jasper held him, lips brushing Eli's forehead. I've got you, he said. Both of you. It wasn't a promise of safety nothing could guarantee that, but it was a vow of loyalty. And Eli clung to it. Weeks passed, and they settled in a small cabin in Vermont, far from Maine's poison. Eli's pregnancy progressed, his body changing, his fears softening with every ultrasound, every kick. Jasper was there for it all, cooking terrible pancakes, painting the nursery, whispering names for their child under the stars. They were building something new, something theirs. But the past wasn't done. A letter arrived. No return address. The handwriting unmistakably Eli's father's. Come home. Or we come for you. Jasper burned it. But Eli saw the fear in his eyes. They weren't free, not yet. One night, headlights pierced the dark outside their cabin. Eli's heart stopped as he recognized his cousin Nate's truck, followed by a cane pickup. Jasper grabbed a bat, but Eli stopped him. No more fighting, he said. Let me talk. Against Jasper's protests, Eli stepped onto the porch, facing the men who'd once been family. What do you want? He asked, voice steady. Nate sneered. To bring you back. You don't get to run from this. I'm not running, Eli said. I'm living. For my child. For love. Something you wouldn't understand. A cane stepped forward, but Jasper was there, bat in hand, eyes blazing. One step closer, and you're done. The standoff stretched, taut as a wire, until Nate's shoulders sagged. This ain't worth it, he muttered, turning away. The canes followed, their trucks vanishing into the night. Eli exhaled, collapsing into Jasper's arms. Months later, their son was born, Liam, with Jasper's blue eyes and Eli's stubborn jaw. Holding him, Eli felt the feud's weight lift, replaced by a fierce, fragile hope. The Carters and Canes might never forgive them. But Eli and Jasper had forged their own peace, built on love, not hate. As they stood on their porch, Liam asleep between them, Jasper whispered, "We did it. We ended it." Eli smiled, tears falling. "No. We started something better."